up? Jay Williams is here, so let's shoot the J.
Shoot it.
Start with tonight's game. Jay, do the Spurs close out their series with Minnesota tonight?
No, I think Minnesota wins this game. I think you're going to see a ton of physicality on Wemby. Wemby sets the pace for this team. Look for Julius Randle to play well down the stretch, and look for Wemby, frankly, to be on his back a lot more than on his feet this game.
See if the Wemby rules take account tonight. On the other side, in the East tonight, will the Cavs close out their series with Detroit at home?
Look, James Harden has been playing his tail off. Donovan Mitchell has been playing at a different level. And we have an Evan Mobley sighting last game. Cade Cunningham, a special player, no doubt about it. But I think Cleveland closes the deal and meets the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
If they win it tonight, then the game one of that series would be on Sunday. My question to you then is this about the Knicks. Should they want to face the Cavs or the Pistons in the next round?
As a real competitor, I want to face anybody in the Eastern Conference Finals. But if you want to face a team, you probably want to face Detroit. I don't think Detroit has as many options as Cleveland. We've seen Tobias Harris take a step back. We've seen Jalen Duren not play as well down the stretch. Cade Cunningham is special, but if you could take out the head of the monster, you have a higher probability of beating Detroit rather than beating the Cavs.
I actually agree with you. That would also, by definition, make it a 7-game series at this point, which also would be beneficial. Speaking of the Knicks, Rick Pitino used to coach them once upon a very long time ago, and now he's coaching in New York again, of course, at St. John's. And he gave an interview in the New York Post in which he said this about the Knicks potentially not having home court advantage in the NBA Finals. He said, the only negative is the home court. Outside of that, I think the Knicks have the best team. Now, OKC obviously is great. They're the defending champions. But the Knicks are deep, talented, and the way they're playing offensively, I don't mean three-point shooting. I'm talking about the ball movement, player movement. It's so much better than what I watched in January. Let me bring the group out here. Monica McNutt does the Knick games on the radio. She knows them as well as everyone. And I want to start with you, Windman. Rick Pitino says, right now, the Knicks have the best team. Are you buying it?
Well, Rick Pitino knows a lot about basketball, and I agree with him that since January, the Knicks look completely differently. But let's just everybody calm down with comparing them to Oklahoma City. It's just calm down. The Knicks would love to get the opportunity to do so. Oklahoma City is 8-0 in the playoffs so far, but I understand why Knicks fans are so excited. I just looked back this morning. They haven't really soundly been beaten in 6 weeks, all the way back to the end of March against Houston, and then the couple of one-possession losses to the Hawks. So I understand why there's some optimism, but let's everybody slow your roll, worry about the conference finals before predicting they're the best team.
What do you think, Monica, when you hear Pitino say that and you're watching every minute of every game, how much they've transformed what they're doing, so much better than what it was in January? What do you think of what Pitino's saying?
It's the whole quote, Greeny. I think you got to look at the context because he watched this team in January, as did I, when they hit a nasty slump. Like, it was awful. So I think people are really enamored with the transformation that has happened over this stretch. I agree with Wendy in terms of slowing down just a bit. But if they are healthy, that means OG Anunoby is healthy, and they've got to get through the next series before we can talk finals for sure. I do think that they have emerged as one of the deeper teams in the league. I think OKC has them beat a little bit in that category. But this is why you went to Mike Brown, a guy who's willing to go to his bench, who has helped put in a system that really has benefited everybody. I mean, yesterday we talked about Jalen Brunson being on ball so much, and he doesn't have to do that as much. The three-point shooting was really something that dictated what happened in the game, quite frankly, on both sides of the floor previously. Now, they're not relying on that three as much due to this new system.
Listen, if you're wondering why people are so excited, the Knicks have won 7 straight games in these playoffs, and only one of them was even remotely competitive. They have obliterated 6 of their opponent in 6 of those 7 games. The one game that was close was Game 2 of the Philadelphia series, the one game that Embiid didn't play, whether that's coincidental or not. But they have been blowing people out. That's why, and look, you live here, I live here. Mm-hmm. You hear the way people are talking. I've never heard Knicks fans, really candidly, since the early 90s, as fired up and as confident in what their team looks like as they are right now.
Greeny, the same seats you sat in courtside were the same seats I sat in when they played against Detroit on February 19th.
That's a flex.
And literally, we were right next to the visiting bench. We were right next to the visiting bench. And when I tell you, J.B. Bickerstaff, they wanted to beat the Knicks down. And watching the Knicks play, their offense seemed old and it seemed tired. This offense is, I think, the best offense in the NBA. The numbers prove it. Now, I'm not saying they're a better team overall than OKC. But like I said earlier, guys, all you need is a fighter's chance. And I think their offense right now gives them that puncher's chance if they get there against an OKC team that's prone to win a championship.
We'll see. Go ahead, Monica. Give me a quick final thought. I want to get to one other thing. Yeah.
Just really quickly, as we move forward, I think how teams can match up with Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be huge because he has been that facilitator, that hub, whether it's Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Jalen Duren, or even potentially Isaiah Hartenstein or Victor Wembanyama. That's something to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot to watch with them, but there's a lot of business to get figured out first. I want to get into this quickly. Game 5 between the Cavaliers and Pistons, as you will recall, ended in controversy Wednesday night. Jared Allen made contact with Asar Thompson going after a loose ball in the final seconds of the fourth quarter. No foul was called. The game went on to overtime, and the Cavaliers wound up winning. The ball is 70 feet from where they would have potentially scored. And the league, in its 2-minute report, confirmed that the no call was correct. It said Jared Allen and Asar Thompson legally stepped to the same spot while pursuing the loose ball before either player has possession, and both lose their balance from the marginal contact. Windy, it's interesting because we were all talking about this morning. There are two separate questions, which is, do we think that was a foul? And do we want that foul to be called at that moment of that game? What do you say, Winman?
That is exactly the point. What the NBA is sending the message here is they don't want that foul called at that point. Well, they can call it marginal contact, whatever they want. It's a judgment call, and they are backing up their veteran referee, Tony Brothers, for not calling that. Of course, you can go frame by frame and argue about whether Jared Allen forced Asar Thompson to fall down. That is essentially not the argument. They want the game to be decided on the court. In fact, this entire 2-minute report said that there were no missed calls in the entire last 2 minutes or overtime. They backed this refereeing crew 100%.
I'm happy they didn't make the call because it was no. And honestly, Wendy, I firmly believe this. If you watch it back, clip by clip, I do believe it should have been a no call. I mean, just watch Thompson grab Jared Allen's arm before the trip even occurs. They're both stepping towards the same spot, grabs his arm, pushes him out of the way, and then falls down. So you could make a case if you're grabbing while going for the loose ball, that is a foul as well. Great no call, great recognition by the refs.
It is two separate questions. Do we think it's a foul? You can have your opinion. Monica looks very surprised by all of it.
I hate it, Greeny. I hate all of it. Anytime somebody gets tripped up in a basketball game, it's a foul. No, I hate all of it. Whatever.
Okay, even at the last, even 70 feet from the basket, you're going to send the kid to the line to win the game. Go ahead.
I think you got to live with it. I mean, I really think you got to live with it. This is a blatant trip. The dude falls on his face. I just think you got to live with it. That's a foul. I get it. Because if we start doing this thing about late in game, how long will it be before the strategy of late in game is swallow the whistle? We keep cycling through what we want out of our officiating. Just be consistent.
50 years.
Okay, that's fair. Let me put up one last thing.
This is dumb.
D33, very quickly, Cindy, let me throw this up there. If there's one other conversation to be had about the officiating, Windy, it is this. The Cavaliers have shot 34 more free throws than the Pistons have in this series, including 18 more in Game 5 on Wednesday. Is that really the story here, Winman?
Yeah, if I was JB Bickerstaff, this is what I'd be pointing to. And the spread over the last 3 games is even more than that. And the Cavs 3 wins, I believe it's 46. And the Pistons play aggressive defense. They're probably going to shoot fewer free throws than their opponents. But the strategy for Detroit, and frankly, they've had 36 hours and they haven't done it. But I would be attacking that as opposed to that last call.
All right, that was Game 5 in that series. Last night,